You go.
Hello, hello, hello. It's the ladies of TGGX. How are you guys today?
We are great.
Oh, good, great. Okay, I'm gonna just add to that. I'm awesome. Hey, I know we're a little late, but we left you anticipating, so we're here now, right? All right. So, how's everything going, ladies? How has your week been?
Week has been good, and tomorrow is Monday, so that means new beginnings.
Absolutely. Can you believe it's about to be February, though?
Already.
When that happened? I was just trying to figure out what I was doing for Christmas.
Who else? Who just took their Christmas tree down? I've been.
Just took the tree down. Did you at least take the lights outside down?
Oh, see, I ain't had none of that. So.
Oh, okay. Good. Which is so funny because at work I told someone, I was like, it's 2023. We have to do better. And she said, yeah, I need to stop thinking I have till Valentine's Day to take my tree down.
I mean, unless you're gonna decorate it with Valentine's Day stuff, like that's okay.
That's an idea too. That's an idea. So
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm so happy to be back here with you guys.
Yes.
So today we're going to talk about the mirage of happiness. And I know that seemed kind of vague. What are you talking about, Black? What mirage of happiness? Well, I wanted to start off with a video because, here we want to show you some proof, some facts before we start talking. So give me a second. I will share that with you guys. Here we go.
I'm looking you in the face because you brought this case.
It's been 5 years.
Is you're not losing the whole 5 years. You're gaining the next 5 years. You are gaining the
But I want to have them with him. I want to have the 5 years with him. I don't want to start all over again. That's too much.
Right.
It's too much. And you know what? Right, what? You agree?
Yes, I want to be with you, but
then you know what? No, you know what? Around, you either marry me or you reimburse me. It's that simple. I have the ring already. All you got to do is get on your knees and propose.
Your Honor, she is not going to rob me of my manhood and demand that I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to get a ring. I'm going to propose to her when the time is right.
Take this one.
I have not even got to build a relationship with her family.
In case no one else has figured this out, y'all are not compatible. You are.
So what do we think, ladies?
Right.
Okay, well, y'all look like you're processing. So
I'm not processing.
Okay, go ahead then. Now do y'all understand what I mean by the mirage of happiness?
Well, she wasn't happy. She didn't look like she was happy to begin with.
But when I say mirage of happiness, before we feed back, she believes that the only route to her happiness is if that man takes that ring and proposes to her. She is so set on what will make her happy. She's sad and don't even realize it. Controlling it and everything.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna step back. Ladies, I'll start with Roy, because Roy will look like like she want like, baby.
No, because I was being sarcastic with the whole ooh. I don't know if y'all seen that video that ooh, and they started laughing and ooh, like bless her precious heart. We just got to keep that baby lifted up in prayer, because Father God.
Thank you, Southerner, in the fullest.
So the thing with her is, and you said it perfectly, Pearl. She is infatuated with the idea of marrying this one particular man, come hell or high water, this is who in her mind is going to make her complete, to the extent of making him marry her. And it was crazy because he was like, yeah, I do want to marry you on my terms. Like, you ain't gonna tell me to marry you now.
On his terms.
And because of the fact that we didn't see the full, like, you know, we don't know what that backstory was before all of that fiasco occurred, right?
Disaster.
But the dude said apparently he do have some feeling for her. He
said he has feelings for her, but he don't want her to control it.
Right. But I ain't mad at the brother. Hell no. If you gonna make me marry you, no, that ain't we ain't getting married. We ain't playing no Jagged Edge song. We ain't doing nothing.
Did you say Jagged Edge?
We ain't doing it. That's
you get married if y'all ain't playing JE, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remix.
Right. Yeah.
What do you think? Pleasure plug. What you think?
I mean, okay, so first we gonna keep her lifted up, okay?
Yeah.
I just
right. It's like no words.
You got to get it. So let's start with what is happiness to her, right? So clearly being with him forever is happiness to her. So I'm not knocking that because you in love or whatever, right?
Is it?
But what I do think is missing is the fact that we don't talk about enough how we don't come to relationships as our full selves, and we expect other people to fill those voids in our lives and in our hearts and minds and souls. And I think maybe it seems to me because that was emotional. Like happiness is an emotional emotion. So in that wasn't happy, right? That wasn't happiness. To me, I think sis needs to figure out what is making her happy inside. Start a self-love journey, okay? And I'm not saying don't be with him, but don't look for someone else to complete you or provide you the love that you ain't providing yourself.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna come back to that. What about you, Miss? We're gonna come. Listen, all we just did was put our black girl swim cap on. We're about to dive in. But go ahead, Miss Communication. What's your take on it?
I mean, I didn't get a chance to see this video before you guys put it up, and I can't. The words are escaping me, and that is that's rare for me because usually I have words to say, but in this situation here, the idea that you stand there crying and you saying, "I got the ring, and if you don't put the ring on my finger, you need to reimburse me."
I invested. That's what I invested.
Like at the end of the day, you didn't even allow him to go buy his own ring to give to you. You said, I have the ring. I'm going to see. And that's the thing. The symbolic nature of this ring being put on your finger is you want that. Because at the end of the day, you want that. You want to be able to go, hey, and you want to go do your engagement shoot, and you want to go, go have, go get the white dress. You want to do all of those things. And at the end of the day, with a person who doesn't deem it necessary to do it with you today or do it with you now, because he's not afraid to lose you at this point. Because at the end of the day,
she's not committed to him. Let's be 100. She's committed to
the idea,
to the world that she's creating.
The idea.
I said it's the mirage of happiness.
The idea.
We invest so much in the thought of love. We do not put the work into love. Marriage is not that ring. Don't mean if she got the ring, got married, and the ring was lost, you still been married, boo.
And if you want the ring and it fits you could always put it on. Like if you want to put on a piece, you want to walk. Listen,
she gonna make him buy her a new one.
Walk out the door to let everybody know, hey, I got the ring. Because at the end of the day, you got the ring. You bought the ring, so it's your ring.
Exactly. And guess what? A couple of months from then, she's gonna be like, I don't know if you really love me because I got the ring. Listen, let's be real. Let's take a step back, ladies. Take a step back. So have we not all been there? Maybe not buy nobody no ring. That's not what I'm saying. Have we not all been there that we are so stuck on the pieces that will make us happy, and the picture that'll make us happy that we don't realize, is this really what's going to make us happy? I think everyone has been there, and I think it's worse now that we got social media.
That's the thing.
Because it almost feels like those who aren't happy post the most to make you believe they are.
Well, if you're showing everybody that you're going on these beautiful, wonderful vacations, but when you come back, you might get an eviction notice on your door, and you're driving these really nice cars, but then it gets taken out of your driveway because repo man came and picked it up.
Or Bay always buy me flowers, but we didn't see behind that vase is the hole he punched in the wall.
I mean, there's a lot of little things that people do, and it's. I mean, that's deep though. That hole in the wall, that's deep. But there's so many different things that people do. It's like it's like when you're having don't get me wrong. There are people who are really happy and really show their happiness. But I think there's also this thing about one-upping each other, right? So it's like, you did a gender reveal and it was, whatever. I'm gonna have a helicopter, or I'm gonna have a spaceship.
Yeah, but
it's gonna be a pink elephant coming out. Like, come on, guys.
Is it people? Let's be real, because we can be honest. Is it people, or do women do this to themselves? Think about it. Think about. I'm gonna put myself out there. So here I come. In my former marriage, there was a time where I was trying to make it do what it do, because there was a part of me that's like, I do not want that side chick to realize that she got so deep into our marriage that it's falling apart. So I was focused on what I thought happiness was. Now, I've never been a social media person, so I didn't do that type of stuff. But I was just so focused. There's not many women who say, no, I wasn't worried about her. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And so we get attached to what we think marriage is supposed to be. And we get attached to what that relationship is supposed to be versus creating the picture of what we think it's supposed to look like. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Well, you can't do it by yourself either. That's the other thing. That's the other thing. It's like a lot of women, and that goes back to this video that we just watched. Like, she was ready to build a relationship by herself, essentially.
But that's what I was saying. Then what? If he does that, then what? Like, how is he gonna be treating you? How is your relationship gonna be? What are you gonna expect from him next?
How is she gonna treat him? Like, I'm just like I said, I hate that we didn't see or understand the full context, because Judge Starr said, I don't know if anybody else is paying attention, but y'all are not compatible.
Right.
Personally, I didn't see necessarily where they were incompatible per se. I saw this woman being a bit too aggressive. That's what I saw. I'm just
I saw it too. But
I saw her being a bit too aggressive, trying to coerce this man and force him to do what she wanted him to do.
In a chokehold.
I also saw a woman who didn't believe that she's good enough to be proposed to, so she put all the pieces together so he could do it. That man ain't handicapped.
He was gonna do it, I reckon, in his own time.
But she does not believe she's good enough because it hasn't happened. What did she say? I invested 5 years. So that's it. Her time's up. It's 5 years.
Well, move your ass on. I know this is Sunday. I'm sorry.
Love yourself. Love yourself, sis.
Thank you.
So what is it about and I know it's not the white picket fence, but I'm going to just say that. Yeah. The white picket fence and the man, and that makes us create this world that literally is us building a relationship alone. Everybody has to know at least one person who's building or has built a relationship by themselves. The human is there, but they're by themselves in the efforts of that relationship. Why do we do that?
That's a great question, and I don't know the answer.
Me neither.
I don't have an answer, but I have an idea. I think it has a lot to do with the pressures of society to have a certain family dynamic, or to to be a certain way or to do a certain thing. And it's just like you guys were saying, I can't relate because I'm single, so I don't be trying to keep up with the Joneses. But I see other people, doing it bigger, and like you say, helicopter, I'm gonna have, smoke, and jet flyers for our baby shower, type thing. But I think it's just, it's a society thing. We do that to ourselves. We tell ourselves this is what has to happen in life. I mean, that's not everybody's journey.
Do we do that to ourselves, or we do that to each other? Because I definitely see women struggle with, when you gonna get married, girl? You ain't had no babies yet. That is stuff people experience.
That is true.
Why are you asking me that? Are you saying that I'm not complete until those things happen? Yes, that is what they're telling us.
But I think more so like not even that, but I mean sometimes that, but it's like it's an expectation. It's like, oh, it should have happened by now. Because I get those questions all the time. When I go home, I take my dog. This is your grandchild. This is your, you know what I mean? This is your.
I got kids, and I still get that question. I've been married, and I still get that. Oh, you're too pretty to be single. No, I'm too pretty to get fucked over.
Something got to be wrong with you.
That's what it is. I'm not too pretty to be single. I'm too pretty to waste my time with the wrong person. You know what I mean? But to say I haven't heard it over and over, I mean, that's sometimes people's pickup lines. Forget about the fact that people who know me say it. It just like, I don't get it. And I guess for me, I process differently, but think about that. There are a lot of people hearing things, and that subconscious talk is, what's wrong with you? That's what that is. What's wrong with you? But why aren't you married?
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's my question to people. Like, I was listening to Tracy Ellis Ross talk about being single at such and beautiful at such a, young age. I'm gonna say young because y'all say her body. Like, even like I feel that, and I feel like that's the path I'm on, sis. Like, people, we ain't talking about it enough, and that's by choice for one, right? But like, let's reiterate that ain't everybody's life. That ain't everybody's journey.
It's not.
Like, but that's people's expectation because that's what everybody else is doing.
But are we saying in the same breath, I get it, but are we saying in the same breath that there is not a part of us as women that wants the companionship, that wants
well, that's okay. Some people do. So like, like I said, some women don't want that. Like for her, she's like, she just haven't found it. And that's my situation. I just haven't found that. I'm open to it. I wasn't always, right? But we go back to it starting with you. Right. And then making sure you're showing up as your complete self, because it's not going to work if you're looking for somebody else to fulfill you ever in any way, capacity. You know what I mean? But I digress.
So let me ask y'all a question. I know we've all gone through different things in life, and we are all the wiser. But did you have a point in your life where you're like, if I have these things, or if I have this kind of man, I'll be good. I'll be happy. Did anyone go through? I feel like some of us have. Some of us may not want to admit it.
I have.
Okay.
Oh, I ain't scared. I have. But it wasn't the man thing. It was like I had a certain amount of money I wanted to make for a certain, at a certain age. I had, different, like I had a certain degree by a certain year. Like I had different goals. It wasn't, I want to be married and have kids by 40. That just it wasn't ever a goal of mine. It just depends on what people individually like want and see for their lives. But yeah, I think
I think different. Yes, I had the whole degree, blah blah blah. But I grew up in a world where that it was the unspoken thing that's supposed to happen, right? You go to school, you get your degree, you meet the man, you get married, you have kids, you have a house, bop. I mean, it just no one had to tell me. It was in my face. It is don't shame me and have a child out of wedlock. We work hard. You need a man who takes care of you. It wasn't a talk. Like I can't say it was a talk. It was an expectation. It's a seed of expectation that has always been planted in me. And so I think, and again, I've said this on the show before, I think when I got married and then I was like, shit, this is not working, right? I was like, how did my parents do this? This is not working. Then it was the shame of, why am I messing up? Why are you not able to fit the happiness bar? Why, right? Nobody told me that I had to do it, but definitely there was a shame in general from, the lifestyle I grew up in of, hey, you see she's over there, she has a child, no father, or ooh, such and such got divorced. it was like a big thing. It took a while to get out there. I'm not there anymore, but that is a seed without me realizing that was planted in me. Now, would I go buy a man a ring to marry me? Hell, la 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 la. No, because I sincerely believe that a man has a natural need to hunt, to pursue, right? And a woman needs to say to herself, "My man wanted me." He asked me to marry him, not I asked my man to marry him. Does that make? I feel like it's that natural stuff. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, love. So I'm gonna piggyback off of what you just said because with my current husband. So, ladies, I've been married 3 times. All right. So, just disclaimer.
She said disclaimer.
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm a Steve Harvey female version. All right. So
it's okay. He making money, honey.
And I'm praying it's coming my way too. So let's
Well, go ahead.
But I asked my current husband to marry me because for me, the writing was already on the wall that he was the one. And even though which is a whole other conversation about soulmates, he's my soulmate, like truly. Yeah. It just meshed. And there's a backstory to that. But
it's okay.
But it automatically clicked. And so for us, within like the first 6 months, I knew he was the one. And I told him, "You're gonna marry me. We're gonna get married." I went and bought my dress and everything. I know.
Yeah.
I know communication. Now, I did not. To the young lady in the video, she bought a ring for this man to use to marry her. No. So, Rain, when you were talking about earlier, when you was talking about, if we ever like put like specifications on things, right? A moment ago. And I said, no, I didn't, which I really didn't. But I will admit to the fact that I bought myself a 1/2 carat ring. This was in the days of Friedman's jewelry. If anybody remember Friedman's, because everybody could get, girl, that was back in the day. Because everybody could go there and get an account, right? Bad credit, no credit, we got you. So so I bought myself a 1/2 carat ring, and I wore it on my wedding hand because during that point in time, going into what Pleasure Plug was talking about, loving me, that's where I was. And so I married myself during this particular point in time before I met my husband.
Okay.
And so I said, I do to me.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay. And so that was the purpose of the 1/2 carat. And my statement to myself and my commitment to myself is whoever marries me next will have to do me better than me.
Facts.
So my 1/2 carat was the standard for myself, that the next would be a carat or bigger, whatever he could afford. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't get caught up on all that, but you got to do better than my half.
You saying meet me where I'm at and do more.
And do more. So for me, that was my standard. But as far as like begging somebody to marry me, it was just I'm with you, miscommunication. Like it's like it leaves you speechless because
if you notice, I've been very quiet this entire show. I've said
absolutely
nothing because I'm so like I realize that happiness is one of those things that people chase and don't realize that happiness can be everywhere and anywhere. And it doesn't have to be
a choice.
It doesn't have to be in an actual relationship, because you have it with your kids. You might find fulfillment with your job, or you might find fulfillment with your friends. So when we talk about like even what you was talking about, Pearl, about like that idea that you got to get married and you got to listen. I have a family of I have a lot of cousins, right? Yeah. And I'm the oldest cousin. Mm-hmm. they got degrees over there. They got children over there. They got men over. They got all this stuff going on over there. And myself and I and my son, and that's what it is, right? And it's not because I can't meet a guy. I can meet a guy, whatever the case may be. But the thing about it is that it's always been for me. I'm a lover, right?
Right.
So I put love on top. That's literally, I put love on top. So I meet a guy and it's like, oh my God, yes. And then he does something and I'm like, fuck. And then it's like, all right, well, you know what, buddy? Okay. And then, I might try again with that same buddy, but then at the same token, it's like, you know what, sometimes you got to just step off and just keep it pushing. But the thing about it is that it's only when you're lonely that you feel like you're unhappy, right? And then when you go when you go like this, when you say, you know what, it's not about that anymore. You could be with somebody and be lonely.
Yeah.
Right? And you could be alone. You could be alone and be as content as possible.
Come on.
Because you're not bothered by bullshit, right? You're not bothered by the craziness going on around you or the person or whatever the case may be. It's all about what do you want, right? So yeah, sometimes it's nice to have. I want to have a person, but I always believe that I'm gonna have a person when I'm an old lady, and it's gonna be me and Alfred going to
that's his name. His name's gonna be Alfred.
I guess so. Whatever. Me and Alfred going to the
that cave in the bottom,
right? Going to the Golden Corral or whatever, and getting out senior citizen discount or whatever. That's because it's not about that. It's about the stability, right? So some people just crave stability. But what that young lady was going through was like, you're literally, I felt that was like you setting yourself up for disappointment, and heartache, and
I get that.
All of that.
I'm gonna tell you where I felt her. I don't agree with the crying. I don't agree. Where she said, I invested.
Yes.
For 5 years.
Yes.
So in her mind, she thought I'm building a future with this person. But I think that hold on, Rossi, you coming home?
No, you're fine. I've got a question for you. Go ahead.
I think the issue that I have with that is she turned happiness into a destination instead of a journey. Literally, it's a journey. Right?
That's it right
Even
there.
when you're in a relationship, some days you wake up and you be like, I'm good. You can just kiss me on my cheek. I don't want to kiss you. I don't want no nookie. I'll nookie with you another time. But then you wake up and you choose to be with this person. But I do understand the thought that I invested. I thought we were in this together is what I got from that.
I got you.
Okay, go ahead, Roy. Because
so that when you said that made me think of whenever you are in a relationship, right, or in a intimate, committed relationship with a partner, right? For her, and we don't know the answer. I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah. At any point in time, my love, did you sit down and have a conversation with this man to say, we are 2 years in? What's the end game? We're 3 years
even
in.
What I want for myself.
All these years.
Right. But this is where I'm, and again, being transparent. Okay. Because I saw someone, thank you, viewer, you were talking about family structure and stuff, right? Thank you so much. You're absolutely right. So one thing, as you said, my Southern soulness, right? One thing about being a Southern soul is that in the Bible Belt, you do not have sex until it is your time to get married. That's the whole premise, right?
That ain't no Southern thing, but okay.
Okay, but I'm just okay.
Well,
I got where you're going though. I got you. Yes, ma'am. So with that understanding, and piggybacking or accompanying, not so much piggyback, but accompanying that thought process is you don't quote unquote shack. You don't shack up either.
Or play house.
Oh, right. Now, again, with my third husband, with this husband I have now, with because of the fact that I had married myself and I had a commitment to myself and my children, and I had a certain standard for what my next marriage would look like and what I'm going to tolerate. Okay. So even though I told him, you're the one, we're going to get married, sure enough.
Show now.
Right? When I made the decision to move to this area, which is where he was located,
Mm-hmm.
we went into it with the understanding that within 2 years, max, we're going to get married. Okay.
But y'all talked about it, you're saying?
Yes, ma'am, we did. We had a whole full-fledged conversation. And I say conversation, but it was conversations, but we had a full-fledged conversation about this. So in 2002, I moved here. 2003, we had, some little rough patches here and there, but that's to be expected when you move in with somebody. You're learning. That's what you're supposed to do, which is a plus to shacking. But that's a whole nother conversation. But
that's a whole nother conversation.
So in 2003, I'm like, okay, here we're at the 1 year mark, because we really hadn't discussed plans, because it takes some time to plan a wedding, correct? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Later on, we're moving right along. 6 months, I'm like, all right, boo, what we doing? Because I told you, because the standard was there. Now, was I forcing his hand? I don't think so. He's watching football right now, so I haven't asked him if he's ever felt like I forced his hand. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't believe that he would say, seriously, in all seriousness, that I forced his hand. But I will tell you, April of 2004, Gray and Vaughn got married and became Gray and Gray. So we hit that 2 year mark. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why when she was like, I invested, and I hear what you're saying, Pearl, but did y'all have a conversation? Because if you did not have a conversation to establish some boundaries, some guideline, if you will, and I say a guideline, but a plan of action, then his invested time, 5 years, might not have been enough. I don't know. I'm just playing.
Well, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. We as women sometimes are talking, but we're not listening.
Well, daggone it, you're right.
There could have been plenty of talks.
You're right.
But that doesn't mean we're on the same page, because a lot of times and I'm going to just use her, it seems like, yeah, there was talking, maybe not effective talking, but there was talking, but he was like, yeah, that's not how I want it to be. I didn't say this is not what I want. I'm just saying this is not how I want it to be.
They just clearly weren't on the same page. Like that,
Right.
that was clear. I mean, they both wanted to get married to each other, but they weren't on the same page because that critical conversation did not happen early on. We're 5 years in now. So of course she's crying. She's frustrated. She's trying to figure out
and the biggest part is missing is she apparently don't respect him. You want to see a man run? Stop respecting him.
There you go.
Bounce. He gonna bounce. You didn't even allow him to stand in his manhood to propose to you. You over here just take.
He don't go eat. Wait, what?
You might as well say eat the cake, anime. That's the same thing.
Absolutely, that's a good analogy. Absolutely, and mush it in his face.
And mush it in his face. Absolutely.
And it was like, and then what? If he didn't say, okay, I'll take this ring, what happens then? You basically gave him an ultimatum and said, if you don't get down on your knee right now and marry me, then
over. Right.
What now?
Right.
Because not for nothing, the 5 years, it sounds like a long time. There are people who've been together 18 years, 20 years, 30 years, and they ain't get married yet. And it's like, because again, like you said, she set the goal as marriage is her goal, right?
Correct. Happiness was a destination, but it's not. Happiness
But
is not a destination.
At the end of the day, that might have been her goal,
right?
But that might not have been his goal, and therefore it might not have been their goal. And you cannot get married if there's no you gotta be together on a team for this thing. It has to be between us. It cannot be one person saying that this is what we're gonna do and this is what we're gonna get done, and that's that. And it's like, listen, don't get me wrong. There are some men that are henpecked or whatever and do whatever their woman wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that that thing. But there are some men who say, no, I don't want, this is not what I want to do right now. Yes. He might say, you know what, I'm not financial. You know, there's other things. There's men are funny because they were like, I'm not financially stable. Baby, listen, there's financially stable again is a goal, right? But it's not necessarily something that's actually a tangible thing. Because what is financially stable? You got $200,000 in the bank? What's financially stable? You got what is it, right? So there's that thing where he's like putting a pressure on and saying, wait a minute, until I am this, I cannot do that, right? But that's the thing. It's like, if he really wants to be with you, he's going to be with you.
Exactly.
Right.
There's not going to be this thing that comes in between the two of you that makes it so that he says, no, I don't want to do this.
Well, obviously he didn't want to be with her, even though he said he wanted to marry her. They're in divorce court.
Right. Before they got married.
And I'm assuming it was because of the ring.
Yeah, they went to divorce court because she was like, I don't know if it played, but she said, I want you to either marry me or reimburse me.
Right. I think they are.
He didn't send you to go buy that ring, baby. What you mean?
Right.
But even if he did tell you to go buy the ring, the point of the matter is reimbursement for what? That's the point. It's like
for her plan not following.
You can't get time back, baby. That time is gone. Okay?
Right, it is. Time is, listen, I always say people don't, listen, here's the thing. I feel as though time is never wasted. It is spent incorrectly, right? Or because time is a commodity, right? Right. Time is definitely a commodity. We only have a certain amount of ticks on the top on this clock that we live in, right? So at the end of the day, if you chose to spend 5 years with someone who at some point he might have shown you that he was going to marry you, might have, all of those things like that. But at the end of the day, you know what they say, when a person shows you who they are, believe them, right? So at the end of the day, there's a point where you got there and he wasn't there.
But and how do you identify that? See,
I don't know, because not for nothing,
we gotta be able to identify it.
Not for nothing, there's a lot of men out there that they listen. Men don't have biological clocks the way we have biological clocks, right? So they can have children at 60, 70, whatever. They can still make babies, right? And she might have been like, oh my God, my biological clock is ticking. I need to figure out this thing. It's that fear factor, right? And you cannot be happy in fear. You cannot be happy and afraid. Like, that's not a thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you can be, anxious or whatever, or like not knowing what's going to happen next. But that whole idea that you gonna marry me, here's the ring, do it. First of all, no. No. First of all, no, because that right there, if I was him, that would have already been like a no for me.
That would have turned me off too.
I'd be like, excuse me, first of all. But then again, he did come on a show with her. So I mean, and they did have matching outfits. So maybe they wasn't
have matching outfits. I thought it was just
they had on the same. They
was like, that's the same blue they got on.
It was unless she picked out his clothes, and then there's another story that we got to talk about.
No. And I'm gonna tell you what I think happened. They both left the same house and came to that.
They did.
Courthouse.
They came from the same house. They live. That's because all of that stuff. If you've been together for 5 years, you live in separate homes and all this other stuff here, all this other stuff, and you were able to match your outfits. Okay. Wear the blue jacket I bought you last week so we could go on this show and talk about the fact that you don't want to marry me, and if you don't, come on, son. Like, all of this stuff is like, God, please.
So can I ask y'all single ladies a question about this young lady?
Yeah.
So she made this statement when Judge Starr pointed out, basically she was making a fool of herself. She didn't say it that way, but that's what she was saying. But she said that she had invested these 5 years, and Judge Star was like, you can do, you can, basically she was telling her she can date somebody else. And she was like, no, I want him.
Yep, I want
basically.
him. Mm-hmm.
So here's my question, ladies. If you invested 5 years and it's not going anywhere, I mean, for the sake of conversation, following this young lady's lead, right? And it's not going anywhere. Are you afraid to let this relationship that's stagnant go so that you can potentially be open to what really is for you?
I can answer that.
Okay, love.
All right. Go ahead.
Because you got my question, right, baby? The
question is, would like wait. I want you to make it as short and sweet, because in my head I'm like,
if you were her,
yeah,
would it be hard for you to leave?
No. See, I wouldn't be her. And I'm sorry, that sounds crazy.
No,
and I always say never, but here's the thing, I wouldn't be her. The thing about it is that I feel as though there is a certain, again, as I've gotten older, like I was saying earlier, some of this stuff is just happening as we speak. Like all this stuff that's going on with me right now is in the moment, right? So what I felt a week ago is not the way I feel right now, and what I felt a year ago is not what I felt. It's like I feel different, right?
That's real. That's
different.
That's real.
All right, I'm having a lot of epiphanies doing this thing that we do here every on Sundays.
Okay.
So what I can say is this: I am not begging anybody
come on
to be with me.
Facts.
Either you're going to be with me and you're going to love it and you're going to enjoy what I got going on over here, or you're going to let me go so I could go and I could be by myself, or find someone who is going to appreciate what I got.
Yeah.
Now, for her, the fear, like I'm saying, she sounded afraid. It was fear in her soul, and it's like, sis, that's what I'm like. No, it's like you can literally go someplace else with that foolishness. You don't have to be sitting here with this man who's literally telling you he does not want you. That's crazy to me. And he said, no, I want to marry you. Okay. In my time. Okay. I gotta go. Time's up. I gotta go for my own self, for my own, for me. That's the thing. It's like that there are people are not doing that no more. And that young lady, I mean, I was cringing the whole time.
So my answer to that is
yes, your throat, girl.
20-something-year-old Black Pearl stayed in a marriage because, and bar for bar, she said, I invested. I was like, we have 3 kids. I don't want to be a single mother. That was my mind frame. I want my kids to see a loving relationship, because that was the foundation of who I was. I saw love. I operate in love. Not to say I don't have a survival mode, but I am a loving person. If you know me, I am loyal. That's from how I was raised. Erica today realizes that I invested and I made a good investment is 2 different things. I can invest in the wrong thing. And Erica today probably has, maybe Erica a couple weeks ago have invested in the wrong thing, but realizing that it is not the investment. It is, again, the destination. What do I see for my life? In this journey of life, like I think of it as a car, the person sitting next to me is the person sitting next to me who I want to ride into the sunset with, whatever that sunset, whenever it comes. I think the fearful sound in her voice, I've been there, was, damn, this is not it.
Yep.
I was wrong, and I was wrong all 5 years. Where do I go now? Because I never created another vision of what happiness was, and I have to start from scratch.
Obviously not in her 20s. And that's what I'm asking. Is it scary?
It is. I mean, let's be real. I was in my late 20s, 3 kids, Kevin Samuels label of used, and you were telling me to go back out here. So I had to put myself out there again, and not only put myself out there, but put myself out there, and yet remember I'm a mom. I can't come home brokenhearted, boo-hooing because a dude didn't show. Come on, I was still a parent. Was it scary? Hell yeah, because I invested in the life I thought was going to be it.
Come on.
Okay.
And then you come out and you enjoyed all the benefits of my investment and still said it's not good enough. Because that's what he's saying to her. That's what she's hearing. I'm not good enough for you to choose me as your wife. I was good enough to be with you for 5 years. I sure she was cleaning, cooking, slurping, bent over, doing it all for him to be like, nah, you ain't it. And probably go meet some other chick who's half of what she doing.
And will marry him. She'll marry him tomorrow.
So yes, I understand where she's coming from. Am I that person anymore? No. But to sit here and say no one else has ever felt like that, I just can't believe that. I can't believe that. I can't, because everyone at one point believed that was the person. This is why, let's be real, Royal, you married 3 times. You believed the first one was the only one. You didn't think you was going to go 2 more times.
Can't say I did. No, can't say I did.
And I'll say that I have been guilty of spending my time incorrectly, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, Black Pearl was saying, the me before, right? We're constantly evolving every day. But the me before today would be more inclined to like do what feels, do what feels good to me. Like I'm probably gonna stay because it's good and I don't want to mess up a good thing. Like you do have that fear of like, some shit is scary. And back then I wouldn't have been brave enough to do it scared, to be, to go at it scared. But now there's no way in hell. Ain't nobody getting me 5 years of my life.
Honey.
No way. Okay, now don't get me wrong, I'm open. But when it comes to a point where you don't see a future with someone, I'm not even gonna date you. If I don't see a future, not me, not now. Now I'm not shading nobody, do you? I ain't just, but not me, not now. I'm not dating you if I don't see a future with you. I ain't saying it gotta be forever, but if I don't see you in my tomorrow,
my next week. I don't see you in my next week. There's a problem.
When my light bill is due, if I don't see you there, then we good.
Right. Wow.
I'm good on that. I'm good. My bill's paid. I just need you to pay your own bills. Okay.
Well, I think the thing that was weird for me, I think is because they're not married. But to say someone has been married and they're like, oh, well, it's not working. Time to get divorced. Who the heck gets married to be divorced?
Listen, my mother told my father, they've been married for a very long time. Very long time. They've been married 40 some odd years, right? My mother and my father, when they first got married, they said, my father's, they was going through whatever, and my father said, well, if it doesn't work out, we can, we can always get divorced. My mother said, divorce who? Now imagine, I have an African mother. My mother was like, divorce where? We don't do that here.
Hey,
me and you.
Okay. And you know that's the same with my culture.
Listen, me and you, we together. You die, then I go. You die, I die, then you go. Whatever. But this right here,
but it ends with death.
This right here is we doing this thing. We gonna ride this thing until the wheels come off, and not for nothing. They have gone through a lot of stuff
that they kept choosing
to be together.
To do it. It's not, and there's a lot of us that choose to ignore that we are choosing alone.
No, yeah. Let me tell you something. When it comes to them, like I always go back to them because they're like my blueprint. My father's my blueprint. Yeah. They're my blueprint, right? When it comes to them, the amount of we gonna hold each other down type thing, the one like that thing that you got me, I got you type situation, that right there makes me always. That's what I crave. You know what I mean? I crave that because sickness and health,
Right.
Yes.
Till death.
To death do us. Yes. And for
You
rich
got
or
to
poor,
die,
yes.
baby.
All them things. Listen, all them things, all them things like that, right? You know what I'm saying? And I remember once my mother got sick and my father used to come and visit her or whatever, go to the hospital every day and sit by her bedside until it was time for visiting hours was over. And I remember he told me one of the nurses was like, "You're here every single day with your wife." He said, "So where else am I supposed to be? Where else am I supposed to be?" That's like
That's
he said,
mine.
that's midyear, which means in my mother's language, that's my thing right there. That's mine, right?
Right.
So at the end of the day, that's the thing that people don't understand. It's like, as much as you want to be happy, if the person that's next to you is telling you no, that's not gonna happen right now, you have to put your big girl drawers on and say, okay, either accept it and walk away, or accept it and sit there with that person.
Yes.
I picked it, but you have a choice. That's one thing about life. You have choices, right?
Yeah.
Whether you realize it or not. And sometimes we choose to stay stuck.
Right.
Because it's comfortable. That doesn't mean it's good. I'm gonna stop here. I see a question that I think
that's a powerful question.
That question, Michael, thank you for the question. Okay. So he asked, I'm assuming it's a he, so if it's not, I apologize. But at what point do you realize it's a bad investment? There's so many ways to answer that, Michael.
I mean, one of the ways I would answer that is when you realize that you've given up more of yourself. You yourself. You have you don't have self anymore, right? So when you can sit there and go on television and cry about a person and say, "I want you to marry me now," and he says, "I love you and I want to marry you, but not now. I'm not taking this ring, and I'm not." That's when you go, okay, and you let it rock, and you go, okay, no worries, thank you though, and you might want to say and walk away, because at the end of the day, your investment, that right there, and I'm talking about in that situation, but in real life. You know when your return on investment is not happening. You know when your ROI is not happening.
When the bad outweigh the good.
Yeah. Yes. When the bad outweigh.
When you're not happy, when you're not laughing, joking. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying arguing or disagreeing because that's gonna happen. Y'all not the same person.
No. Yeah, there's a level of disagreement.
You can't work it out when you just I don't want to be here. Like, you walk away.
Okay, so the moment, and I've only had this experience twice in my life, the moment I realized the investment was not it just wasn't it. I think the first time that I realized it wasn't it was I lost me. Where's Pearl?
That's it. Right.
Like if you know me, I'm joking, I'm smiling, gotta make sure my teeth always brush because I'm always all the time. It was not there. I was going through the motions.
A shell of your former self.
That's right. Just going through the motions, pep talking myself and alone. Because again, you could be in a situation and alone. The next time I realized that it wasn't a good investment was not a bad breakup. It wasn't a bad breakup at all. I was just like, I'm not in love with this person. I choose to be here because he is healing me. He is filling in the void. But for like how Royal said, my soulmate, he wasn't my soulmate. He was checking off some things on the list. And at the same time, I've met someone who I felt is my soulmate, but you notice I said I'm not married. So again, everything was there. All the components were there. I mean, finishing each other's sentences, dressing the same without plan. All of that was there. But guess what? We weren't on the same page. We weren't.
Well, you're at least in the same book. Because sometimes you could be on two different pages.
No, when I say not on the same page, meaning on a page where we're both hearing the same music and dancing at the same time, same page. We in the same place. We was in the same place. Same place, feeling it. I wasn't doing it by myself, right?
Yeah.
But we weren't. No.
And my,
you know how to say right person, wrong time?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I don't have time to wait for it to be the right time. It's either got to be the right time that we're building towards. See, it don't have to be perfect, but we're building towards it, or we just can't. So I want to say that too. But getting there, Oh, not an easy. It wasn't easy to get there because you're like, it's there. All the pieces are there. Why not? Why? Because it's just not. And when you get there, that's when, because you could get there and still stay there, but I had to get there and find the courage to be like, because no decision is a decision.
That's right.
Okay.
And so is no. No is an answer.
It's a full sentence.
Sure is. Period.
And my response to you, Michael, is simply when you have absolutely nothing to pour out of you. When you get to a place in your marriage, in your relationship, where you have absolutely nothing, you are completely depleted emotionally, spiritually, physically, which leads to depression. When you reach that point, baby, that's when you that's when you've hit the bottom. And I don't want anybody to ever get, I pray don't ever get to that point, but I know that we all have encountered that point or gotten very close to it. So with that being said, love, that's when you know that you're in a bad investment. When you hit rock bottom and you have absolutely nothing and completely exhausted, it's time to roll, sweetie.
Yeah. So I know we always talk about self-love. We have a few minutes left. I wanted to take that time because we use that word so lightly.
Well, love?
Self-love. It's
self-love.
heavy. It's heavy, right? When we look at things on TV, it's not uplifting self-love. It's uplifting you need someone else, right? So I want to start off with you, Pleasure Plug. Paint a picture for us of what you see self-love, and then we'll could each take,
For me, or like
for you. You're painting a picture. You're Picasso right now.
my self-love, I got a whole routine. Okay.
I know. A little bit. Don't give them all of it.
But it's what I have to do for me. Like, and it's again, no pressure, but I feel loved, I feel cared for. I do specific things and set those things in place so that I make sure, like, it's like aftercare, not it ain't all BDSM, but aftercare for heavy events or like working, or like if I have a long week, to me that's aftercare. Like, all right, I'm about to decompress. I'm gonna run me a bubble bath, okay, with my bubbly because it smells good, and I might put some, sea salt in there, a little CBD to relax myself. So it depends on the night, but usually there's always bubbles. There's always a wine glass, and
so there's always bubbles.
There's always some music near. Some people like watch movies or read books and stuff. That's cool, but I'll like vibe out and just listen to some music. But like reading books, like not in the tub, but like on my couch with my favorite blankie and some fluffy socks. Like those are things that I love to do for me. Like trying different things, or like going out in nature and going on a hike, or like going on a bike ride, or walking or running a few miles. Like that, me taking care of me is like my form of self-care. I pour so much into my loved ones, family, friends, sororities, BK community, my team, everyone, everybody kids. That's why it's like, y'all don't ask me when
everybody kids.
Well, ask me when I'm having none, because I'm pouring into all y'all. But I pour so much into other people that I realized I had to do the same for me. So
nice. I like that. What about you, Miscommunication?
See, as I'm listening to her, I'm like, oh, that's so nice. That's a great idea. That's fabulous. I mean, listen, if I could just sit on my bed and watch my Marvel and watch my movies without, I don't know. It's like when I close my door and I go into my room, it's just like my little cocoon, right? And I just spend time doing what I want to do, right? So I remember when someone told me once, like, oh, you going to bed at 5 o'clock? Yes, because I'm an adult and I could do that. My bed, I don't have a bedtime. I sleep when I feel like sleeping. So yes, sometimes you need to take a nap. Sometimes you need to like not talk to nobody. Sometimes you got to say to yourself, I can't do this today. I can't deal with this person right now. I can't. That's, in other words, self-care in that mental space, right? Sometimes I got to turn everything off and just be in my own spot because I'm a thinker by nature. So when I turn my brain off, that's self-care for me. When I say, yeah, I'm going to spend the whole day watching, an entire series and I'm not going to do anything else. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to eat the popcorn that I want. And you know what I'm saying? I'm going, that for me is where I get it. That's where I'm taking time out for self. And I do that a lot.
Nice. What about you, Royal?
So I'm very similar to miscommunication. So literally, because my brain is always on go. You ladies have heard me tell myself, slow down, stop, pause, because my brain is always clicking. So I am a fan of Tubi here lately. So literally, I will go into my room and just unplug and watch Tubi movies back to back to back until I'm done. And then the other and last thing that I actually do is when I'm going to work, I just have self conversations. I just talk to myself, and whoever's driving beside me, they probably think I'm on my cell phone or something, because I am having a full-fledged conversation with me, either to get myself started for the day, or just reflecting if I said or did something, because I check myself. So I do a lot of self-reflection. So I use affirmation in that sense of reflection and affirmations to take care of me.
Nice. Well, for myself, I think I try to find reasons to fall in love with me. And what I mean by that is I talk to myself in the mirror. If you know me, I always smell good. Girl, I'll be napping like, well, you smell good, girl. I'm just being honest because I like that. Definitely do the music thing. If you know me, no booty, but always twerking. It just makes me feel good. You know what I mean? It just makes me feel good. But here's the challenge for me with self-love. It is turning off all the outside noise that made its way inside and kind of pushing it out. So I have to write. I love going on walks. I love it. I walk and I talk to God and I talk to my ancestors and I talk loud. I don't care if you can hear me. Join the conversation if you want to, but I talk because the way that talk comes back is not here. It's here. Right? And then when I do all of that alone time, I go to people who love me. They do. There's plenty of people who love me. Just my 3 kids alone. You know what I mean? I find a reason not to tell myself, I can't find this. I can't. It's all around me. Love is omnipresent. It's everywhere. It's just waiting for you to recognize it. And that is the part of the journey I'm at now. Like realizing love is not just one form, one person, one situation, right? It's all different ways, all different. You could walk to the grocery store and see an old couple loving on each other, but you could also see a 5-year-old yelling in excitement to see their grandmother. That's all beautiful things that I try to acknowledge, because if I pay attention to what isn't, I'll never see what is.
Right.
I'll never see what is, because what isn't is so much louder and so much more in my face than the most gentle, pure, everyday thing of passing by a grandmother with their grandbaby, or watching a man open the door for his daughter. See how I didn't even say his wife or his girlfriend? His daughter. Those little things are the investment of love that I try to pay attention to. So, thank you, Facebook user. We're glad. We love being here with you. We love it. We'd love for you to interact more. So, on that note, because we have been running our beautiful mouths this whole time, I want to thank all of you out there who joined us tonight. We saw you. We saw your likes and your comments, and we appreciate you so much. Ladies, can I tell you how much I love seeing all this beautiful intellectual melanin in front of me?
Come on now.
I appreciate you all. And to the rest of the TGGX family, we'll see you again 2 Sundays from now. So not next Sunday, but the following Sunday. All right. Have a wonderful night, and thank you for joining the Good Guy Experience with the good guy. The experience. Look at me messing up. It's always good guy. Good night, ladies.
Bye.